Welcome back again to the VAR room where Americans talk soccer. I'm your co-host today, Idris, and alongside me, Jen. How are you doing today, Jen?
Doing good, Idris. Football.
Want to shout out our subscribers and new subscribers, old subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. Make sure you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And this week, we're just going over the games for the past weekend and giving our take on how it went and some other stuff,
Sounds good.
All right, Jen. Excuse me. So
Bless you.
we have this first game, Burnley versus Everton, 1-1. What are your thoughts on that one?
Burnley versus Everton. I thought it was Burnley versus Man City. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Burnley versus Everton. You're right. Yeah, good for Burnley. I thought Everton was gonna take this easy win, but Burnley has to really step it up. Had to step it up, and Brady scored, which is pretty unexpected. It's usually Wood or Rodriguez, and yeah, I mean they have a decent lineup and they fought hard. And Everton, I don't know, they started off so well. Another goal for Calvert-Lewin. He's on fire these days. But we need more from Everton. They are missing that um, mentality, I feel like, to win the games and try to win the title of the Premier League. So it's a pretty new team, new players, new combination, new style. Um, and they're getting used to playing with each other. So who knows? The pace will pick up more like it did in the beginning of the season. But I would say at this pace, Everton's kind of looking like previous season in the middle of the table. What about you, Idris?
Yeah, I think Everton started the season out really strong. People were like, "Oh, they're going to be a force," but I feel like it's kind of caught up to them, and they haven't lived up to the hype. But they do have a great manager in Paolo Ancelotti, and I think Burnley they played pretty fairly decent. Everton were kind of on the front foot for a bit. It was a fairly matched game, but you know how Burnley play bully football, so maybe they could have matched their physicality. But overall, I think it's a better point for Burnley versus Everton because Everton
Mhm.
are just sliding down the table now. So they've gone from
Yeah,
first, I think, in like the last 4 weeks to ninth. So that's a huge shift.
for sure, for sure. I think Richarlison's got to step it up. He's got to score more goals. Burnley, they won only one out of last 5 games, and they have 3 losses and 1 draw, which is yeah very different from how they started. And now they're in the ninth place, um which is very unexpected comparing to how they started, because everyone's talking about Everton, how they might win the Premier League this year, but it's going really far away from that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. The next game was Man City 2, Fulham 0. That's kind of expected. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's pretty much expected. Fulham had to pull up a miracle to win against Man City. Lookman was on form last game, and he did play this game as a top forward striker with Cavallero, um, and Loftus Cheek in the center as well, supporting them. But Kevin De Bruyne, man, he scored a penalty. We're really happy for him. I think he needs this goal to score more goals in the future games. And Raheem Sterling, clinical, very good finish. And yeah, I think this was a pretty expected outcome for me, for Man City to win. And but hey, what a great saves by Ariola. He's from PSG and top class, world class saves. So gonna look out for this man.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Ariola was Fulham's man of the match if you look at that in
Yeah,
that
for sure.
perspective. Because Man City could have easily put 10 past them. I am not even exaggerating. I am not even
Yeah,
exaggerating. If
for
you've
real, for
seen the
real.
game, they could have put 10 past them. But Ariola making world class saves and kept them in the game. But I feel like Man City were always in control. They were playing at home. They had their best player, Kevin De Bruyne. They had Sterling back on the score sheet. And it was really comfortable for them. All they had to do was pass it around. And I feel like in the first half, without Ariola, they would have Fulham would have conceded way more. But in the second half, I feel like Fulham came out to them and tried to
Hmm.
play Man City, and it kind of balanced it a bit. But again, with Man City's quality, you have to be careful. And I think Ariola took them out of jail most of the times. But nothing was unexpected here. It was Man City. They were at home. You expect them to win. So
For sure. Good take.
yeah. The next one is West Ham versus Manchester United. How did you feel about that game, Jim?
First half, West Ham bullied Man United so hard, and they had so many chances, missed so many chances too. And there was a goal that we everyone saw it was coming from West Ham United. Manchester United played so bad in the first half, terrible football, and yeah, we always think like every games that Manchester United played this season, they always let other teams score. And they play like shit in the beginning, and then they come back like um for some reason, and they win the games. And this is exactly what happened this game too. But I think the key turning point for Man United was Bruno Fernandes coming in. He definitely switched it around for Manchester United, getting those passes in, and I think he scored too this game. Actually, no, he didn't. But oh my god, what a goal by Paul Pogba! That is probably goal of the season. Right next to
Mm-hmm.
Son's goal today against Arsenal. And Mason Greenwood, man, I think he looks so good right now this season. He's probably one of the best attackers in Manchester United right now. I think the best right now, currently. And Rashford, man, he is world class as well. So yeah, if West Ham just couldn't keep up after Bruno came in and they lost focus and concentration was not there. And Man United, like they always do, come back. They came back. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a good take. I agree. Also, West Ham was they were all over Manchester United, and they should have been at least 3 goals up.
Yeah.
But again, I think Bowen had a really good first half. He gave what's called Tellez a really hard time. Had him on toast a few times, turning him inside out.
Yeah.
Tellez was really struggling. I feel like he didn't get the support from whoever was on his flank. I think it was Martial, so he didn't really get that support. But this is what happens when you have quality players to bring off the bench. They tried to rest Bruno, they tried to rest Rashford. Things weren't going in their way. Bruno comes on, Rashford comes on, and everything changes. And I think that we can see that's how much Bruno has changed Manchester United. Because since he came in January, he has been a force. He's been that glue that brings everything together. He's
Hmm.
everywhere on the pitch. He wants to receive the ball. He has the technical ability to turn in tight spaces, find the pass. He tracks back. He does the defensive aspect. And I feel they just couldn't keep up with him because I feel in the first half, Declan Rice and Thomas Susek took care of Van de Beek and Paul Pogba. They kind of contained them. But once Bruno came in, they couldn't contain him because he was all over the pitch. And as Declan Rice, you don't want to be chasing Bruno around the pitch. That just leaves space for other people. So you have to pick one. You just stay in your position, hope for the best. And Bruno, world class player. I hate to say it because I don't like Manchester United, but he is definitely. I think he's probably after Kevin De Bruyne. He's probably the best midfielder in the Premier League, possibly in the world right now on form. He's probably up there. He is just an incredible footballer, and man, he's so good. His passing, his work rate, always finding to do something. And West Ham just couldn't keep up with that. I feel bad for Martial because he got injured. He's really struggling for form right now, but he got injured and had to be forced off. But for that last goal, the pass from Juan Mata into Rashford is absolutely world class. One time left foot, bam, he's in. And with Rashford, that's what you get. That's what you get when you're playing against quality. And I think in the second half, the players did come to Ole's rescue. I know a lot of United fans are not happy with Ole, but I think the players play for him. And they play for him in the
Sure.
sense that when I feel like Bruno is more of their captain in a sense compared to Maguire, because Bruno kind of just brings everything together. He demands the best from his players. And when he's on the pitch, they kind of play for him and they play for Ole. So I think Ole is going to be here to stay, and we're going to see how that progresses.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big shot for Bruno, and I agree that he is as good as Kevin De Bruyne right now. And there's a couple of players I see when I see them play, I think to myself, oh my god, these guys are actually really, really good at football. And Bruno is one of them. And he always amazes me with his passes. And he just, football IQ is just so high, like he knows where to pass the ball. He knows like the movement. Like the reason why Kevin De Bruyne is so good is not because of his passing or shooting. Like he's got all that, but the way he moves before he's off the ball movement is just world class. Nobody can copy that. And I think Bruno also has that. So yeah, man, I think Bruno had a really good game, and Harry Maguire as well. Harry Maguire also stepped it up. He played a really good game, good defending, cutting up the ball in the penalty boxes, and yeah. But for me, I've been watching Manchester United games all along, and Anthony Martial just seems pretty off these days, and I think definitely I would start Cavani instead of him. I think he needs some time to regroup and um, get the break, I guess. And yeah, he needs some time off. He seems pretty off in the pitch, and I think Cavani definitely is a better alternative right now for Manchester United or any other forward. I would say, yeah.
I just want to ask you one question before we move on, and it's kind of to the point that you brought up with Bruno and De Bruyne that they do have those like passing abilities, their technical abilities, but the one thing that sets them out is their ability to find space and their
Mm,
awareness when they're in that space. Because there's certain players when they find space and
yeah,
they ask for the ball, they're not aware of that, and you can see players just kind of rush them. But
yeah.
with players like Bruno and De Bruyne, even if you try to press them when they're in space, their awareness is so good
Mm.
that they can turn into the space even though you can attack them. And my question to you is that do you think that's going to be the model going forward for midfielders as we progress, as football is changing? Do you think that will be like new midfielders have to have that in their game? Be able to find space and have the awareness to do something with that space and not just find the space, receive the ball, and like have to look up. Because Bruno and De Bruyne, they look up before they get it, they have the awareness, and they know where their players are. So do you
Yeah.
think that will be the model going forward for like creative midfielders as we progress?
Yes, dude, definitely did. De Bruyne and Bruno definitely set the bars high for midfielders right now, and I think all the midfielders should play like that. In ideal situations, in ideal world, but it's really hard to play like that because they are world class, and there are not that many players like them currently, and I haven't seen too many players like get even close to their level of playing. So, but yeah, I mean that will be the best midfielder type that any team will want because they could create something out of nothing in any game, and like those players are the game changers for these team. Bruno, he's one man. Look how bad Manchester United was playing before they were playing. I mean, the first half they were playing like garbage, but when Bruno came in, he turned everything around. And Kevin De Bruyne, without Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City nowhere close to winning the title. Like, who's his alternative right now? Like, there's nowhere, there's no one that is as good as him, has the vision, creates the space, has the awareness. Not at all. So yeah, finding these players will be something like changing a club's history pretty much. And yeah, definitely these are the players that clubs should um, scout and develop into as a midfielders. What
Yeah,
are your thoughts? Yours?
yeah, I have to feel the same way for attacking midfielders. They have to be that because I think the game is dying. Not the game. The typical attacking midfielder, your typical number 10, where
Mm,
they have that. So the typical number 10 in the past, and I'd like to point out Mesut Ozil and James Rodriguez. I think Isco is one of them, where
The,
they have to they have the same attributes as De Bruyne and Bruno, but Bruno and De Bruyne do the other things that a regular midfielder does. So they're like a hybrid, De Bruyne and Bruno, where as
yeah,
before the regular number 10, all he had to do was have that awareness and be able to pass in the final third, because all they have to do is create chances. But with De Bruyne
right.
and Bruno, they're kind of a hybrid. They have to create chances. They have to do a little defensive work. They have to do the other little nitty gritty things. And I think moving forward, that's what midfielders have to be. They have to be like, because the game has changed so much and you can't have a luxury player on the field anymore.
For sure. Another player I like think about at the same level as Bruno and Kevin De Bruyne is Di Maria, dude.
Oh, definitely.
Clever, amazing passing abilities. Just watching his game recently, and every cross he makes has a purpose, and it's delivered straight to his teammates. So, and he can score. I think he's already got 50 goals for PSG, and yeah, I think he's one of those hybrid midfielder as well. He's got that traditional midfielder playing, and also that more attacking and creating something out of nothing. And yeah, he's a magician.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let us know in the comments below what you think uh, the future of attacking midfielders will look like. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So let's move on to the next game, which was Chelsea versus Leeds. What are your thoughts on that
Ooh.
one?
Chelsea versus Leeds. Great start for Leeds United. Patrick Bamford had a goal, and against the club that he spent 5 years and didn't get any playing times, that was a great moment for him scoring against them. And I think more than the goal, the pass to the Bamford by, I think it was Harrison. They gave him the pinpoint accuracy pass. That was even better. Um, so they started off really well with Patrick Bamford scoring, but they couldn't really keep up with Chelsea's pace. And Giroud, man, he is a beast. And also Zuma, he's a defender that can score. He scores every game pretty much, and can't leave out Pulisic, man. He also scored. Kind of ended the game right there with the third goal for Chelsea. But yeah, man, I think Leeds, they got still a lot of things to work on. They are going to stay in the Premiership this season, but to be at the top level, to make it to Europa and Champions League, I think there's going to be um, another obstacle ahead of us, ahead of Leeds to overcome, like a big one. So yeah, but it was a good game. It was a good game, but Chelsea's on the rise, and it's gonna be a very good battle between Chelsea and Tottenham and Leicester, Liverpool in the title race.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you. I think the quality of Chelsea came into play at the end of the day. But Leeds United are such a well-drilled team, and I feel like their own mistakes and lack of concentration kind of sold the game for them and
Yeah,
made them lose it. Because after scoring the first goal, they looked pretty solid. They're moving really well. I think Aylin and Rafinha played really good on the right hand side. They're in doing their things, but the goal comes from, I think it was Alioski or Harrison, not tracking Reece James, who basically runs almost 60 yards from the halfway line
mm,
to go in to get the pass from Ziyech and cross it.
yeah,
So that shouldn't be happening in the first place, you know. Little lack of
yeah,
concentration, and probably if you saw the camera panned on Bielsa, he's losing his mind because it's these small little details when you're playing against bigger teams. These
mm,
quality players are going to hurt you. And cross comes in. Giroud's movement is sublime to get that on goal. And
yeah,
Chelsea are back into the game again. They get a corner. If you're playing zone, make sure you watch your man. Nobody, Kurt Zuma basically crip walks to that header. No one's marking him. Nothing. He basically walks, has dinner, has like even takes a nap, and heads the ball. Free header. Again, lack of concentration. and things like that. And you see that like with Leeds, they're a really good team, but when you lack concentration, quality teams are always going to punish you. And I think that's what happened. I think Timo Werner had a good game. So unfortunate not to score. He had so many good chances, but he did assist Captain America for the last goal.
Captain
And,
America.
and Timo Werner, he is some pacey. He's a pacemaker. He is so
Yeah.
fast. Probably one of the quickest players in the league. So,
And
yeah,
he's like you said, like I agree with you on like these players all playing at the top level, and what distinguishes like world class players from these top level players, that the details, man. Like these little details that do, like how they manage the ball, how they move around, and like it's very like how the awareness too. Like it's tiny yet but very big, you know? It's something that some players just developed over the course of their career, or maybe they just had it in the beginning. And it's just that, yeah, that's what it distinguished people like Warner. You know, he's a top class, and little things he do in the game that makes a big difference for the team.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, good game, good win for Chelsea. And I just have one question. I was talking to one of my friends who's a Chelsea fan, and we are
Mm.
talking about Kai Havertz. And when you come to a new league, it always takes time to adapt and stuff like that. We've seen it
Yeah.
with players at other teams. We've seen it with Tanguy Ndombele. We've seen it with Nicola Pepe. We've seen it with players uh, in other teams, Fred at United, that haven't really lived up to their hype when they came to the Premier League. And
Hmm.
after like a season or so, they're finally finding their form.
Yeah.
Chelsea fans were raving about Kai Havertz has probably going to be one of their better players that they signed alongside Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner. But
Yeah.
as I was talking to my friend, he feels like Havertz hasn't lived up to that expectation. Do you feel that same way? Do you think he just needs more time to adapt? Because it's been how many games has he's played? A decent amount of games. He scored some goals in the EFL Cup. I think he has one goal in the Premier
Yeah.
League, but he hasn't really lived up to that chance creation that he did in Germany. So what are your thoughts on Kai Havertz?
Well, I think Chelsea fans, including your friend, has to be more patient. Kai Havertz didn't have that many games. He only had 9 games, and he is a phenomenal dude. He is a phenomenal player, and he is so good. You know, he's one of the best attacking midfielder already at his age. And I just haven't seen enough of Kai yet. Like I don't know how he's really like in Chelsea. And I mean we all seen how he bullied other players in Bayer Leverkusen, and Bundesliga is a very top level league as well. And usually players that comes to EPL, they need time for adjustment. It takes a year or two, usually a year, and then they really start to show their true abilities. So I think, you know, Kai Havertz is still a Chelsea player. He's not going anywhere. So I think Chelsea player just gotta be more patient with this young talent. And yeah, he's something, man. He's something. I think Lampard's gotta play him more, and they're gonna see more Kai Havertz pretty soon, and I think he's gonna be a real threat in EPL. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Idris?
Oh, absolutely. I think he needs more time because definitely coming, even though the Bundesliga is a top league, there are
Mm,
many things that I don't watch that much of Bundesliga, but from the games I do watch, it's not. I won't say it's as physical as the Premier League in the sense that you can always get away with just having the technical ability. But in the Premier League, you need the technical ability and the physicality. And I think Harvard said it, I think in his second game in one of his interviews, that the Premier League is more physical than the German league, which kind of says it all.
yeah.
And you can't just get away with your technical ability. And I think he's still adapting. I also think it doesn't help that Lampard is he's kind of has a hybrid role in the Chelsea team. And this kind of ties back to Bruno and De Bruyne. where they play in a 4-3-3 that's flat, and they're more of a center midfielder and a center attacking midfielder, where I feel like Kai Havertz is more of a center attacking midfielder where he creates chances and scores goals without having that little defensive responsibility. But the way Lampard is utilizing him is that he still has to have that little defensive responsibility. And I don't think he has the physicality for that yet. I don't think he has adapted to that style yet. And that's why he's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, Mason Mount, I would say, is a typical center midfielder,
Mhm.
but he's been in the Premier League, but he's kind of playing that role that Lampard wants Havertz to replicate, where he still goes forward, he creates chances, he scores goals. But when it comes to the defensive aspect, you still have to put a shift in. I think it's going to take time for Kai Havertz to adapt to that. That's why we haven't seen the best of him yet. But like you said, he is a great player. And I think he's going to come good. He's still young. He's 21.
Yeah.
So even if he comes good in 4 years, I mean, it's still going to be great for them, because it's like he's pretty much future proof.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Mason Mount though, like he's a real hustler, man. Like on the pitch, whenever I see him, he's always running like twice as much as the other players. Like that's what it seems to me. And I think Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, they just two different type of players. I feel like Kai Havertz is more of a he can score, but I think he's got the more better accurate passes, more closer to
Mhm.
that Kevin De Bruyne style, where he gets the important passes in and more of a playmaker. And I mean Mason Mount too, but he's more like faster pace, I would say, and he's more active on the pitch and definitely more aggressive, I would say. He's more quick and just two different type of players, and I think Lampard's still figuring out how to use both of them at the best. Um, so it's gonna take time, and yeah, they got him. They got him, dude. Kai Havertz. He's in Chelsea for how many years was the contract?
I think it's a 4-year contract or so, but he can
Okay.
always renew his contract. So
Yeah. Every like literally every top clubs wanted this guy, and yeah, there's no rush, man. There's no rush. So to your friend,
yeah.
relax and drink some coffee and just watch this kid develop into a monster.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which was West Brom versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace take that easy 5-1. I think that's kind of expected. West Brom have been struggling recently. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Ooh, yeah, this game, man. Like it was an own goal, started with the own goal with the furlong and Conor Gallagher with the equalizer. He also scored the last game and really happy for him. He's one of the Chelsea academy graduates, and there's a nice documentary on his loan and his journey as a footballer. So happy for him, and pretty sad for West Brom. They're not really doing well, like how we expected in our Premier League expectations. But I feel like Crystal Palace, man, they are straight to the championship without Zaha. Like Zaha does everything, man. They like Zaha, without Zaha, they are going to be definitely on the relegation battle in Premier League because they look clueless. And thank you for Zaha for coming back for Crystal Palace. They start to get that attacking going. There's that connection. He is connections to everything. His attacking attackers to the midfielders. He does that. And he also scores and he creates those opportunities. And yeah, Zaha scored 2 goals, and Benteke he also scored 2 goals. You know, so yeah, uh, Zaha coming back, I think that was huge for Crystal Palace, and yeah, at this pace, West Brom not looking really good, man. What are your thoughts, Idris?
Yeah, I know. West Brom, they're struggling a lot. And the red card kind of didn't help them. Yeah, like you said, Gallagher's playing really good. And he's a real talent. The kid's a real talent. So
Yeah.
hopefully his career pushes on from there. But not much to say about West Brom. West Brom, they're really struggling right now. They're coming to. I feel like they didn't recruit enough coming into the Premier League, or they didn't expect it to be this difficult, and they're just not doing anything really. They're really struggling. And like you said, Crystal Palace, they have a really decent team. I think they did some decent recruitment in the summer, getting Eze, who I think is a pretty decent footballer, and Teke coming up with the goals. We know he's always a goal scorer. But like you said, Wolf Zaha is basically carrying. Like
Yeah.
he carries
His
that team.
his back must be hurting, dude.
Yeah, he carries that team on his back. And I think
Yeah.
if you can neutralize Wolf Zaha, I think Crystal Palace basically struggle,
Hmm.
and but he's just so technically good in the fact that he can create chances, he can beat a player with ease, he has that skill, he has that flair. It almost makes me think he's probably like half Brazilian, man, because he can do it all, and it's really hard to contain him. But
Yeah.
I think it was kind of expected for Crystal Palace to win, Zaha getting man of the match, so that's kind of expected from them.
Yeah. The thing is that I think Zaha's gonna wanna move out soon. I don't know because Crystal Palace, they're in the Premiership, but they've always been in the mid-table ish, and I think Zaha, he probably wants to win something at his talent level. So, yeah, I want to see him at bigger clubs. I want to see him going for the title and winning something. I want to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. On to the next one was Leicester versus Sheffield, and another loss for Sheffield United. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yo, we just gotta. Everyone's gotta watch Jamie Vardy's ceremony. Did you see that
Oh, his celebration.
celebration? Did he just he just slide tackled on that uh the corner flag?
uh,
Boom, and that was such a clean like cut too on the corner flag. And I wonder if he got a yellow card for that. But that was one of the best celebration I've seen. And but hey, I feel so bad for Sheffield, man. Oh man, they only have 1 point right now, and they're on the bottom of the table. Like last season, like what happened? They were so good last season, and just they needed this win. They needed this win, and like Burnley finally turned it around for them, and they really needed that goal. This wonderful header, but man, they just can't seem like they can get out of this anytime soon. They just got so used to losing, and I don't know. It's just that they're. I think the team energy there is just on the low right now. So they needed this win to turn it around, but it's gonna be a tough ride for Sheffield United. But I think for my prediction, I don't think Sheffield is gonna get relegated. I think they will turn it around. They got a great coach, so Mr. Wilder, and I think they will turn it around. And Leicester, they had a really good game. Perez with the stunner and Vardy with the clinical finish and amazing celebration. And I think that was a great ball from Madison to Vardy. That was top class as well. And yeah, I think it was a very good game for Leicester. And Leicester has been very shaky this season. Like some days you think like Leicester is gonna win this table, win this title, but some days like oh my god, they just lost to the team on the bottom of the table. So things like that happen to them. So if they can get the consistency, I think they have a good chance. And yeah, we'll see about that. What are your thoughts, Idris?
I think Sheffield had a fairly decent game, stayed in the game till the 90th minute. And, classic Jamie Vardy. That's one thing you can't do. Once with the quality of Madison, once he's on the ball, Jamie Vardy it's like 100-meter sprint in the Olympics. He's off and you're not catching him. He's like
Yeah,
32 now or 33, but you're still not catching him. That's how fast he is.
yeah,
So once Madison is on the ball, it's either you stop Roddy from making that run because Madison has the quality to make those sort of passes. And Jamie Vardy just feeds on that. You're not catching him once he turns around and there's a ball in front of him because he's just that quick. He's a clinical
Yeah.
finisher. And I think that finish deserved that celebration, breaking the flag post. So
Hmm.
it was all good and big win for Rogers. I think they lost their last game. So this was a huge win for them to get back. And I think he's doing a decent job with Leicester,
Yeah.
and they're fourth on the table right now, as the live table shows. But Manchester United and Man City have a game in hand, so they can go above them. But I think Leicester are doing really good. They've kind of solidified themselves as a I'll say top eight team over the last few seasons after winning that Premier League title.
Yeah.
So they're doing okay, and they have a quality team.
Definitely did. Definitely. This table is looking very tight right now. Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United. And Man United and Tottenham only 5 points away. So, just what are your thoughts on this table currently? Do you think at this pace, which team do you think is going to win the title?
I really don't know
Oh,
right
wait, this
now.
just in. Sorry, just Liverpool just scored Mohamed Salah 1-0.
So they're gonna go to second. So what was I gonna say? I was gonna say I really don't know. I think it's too early to call in the sense that we're in December and we know the fixtures are about to get tight. So I think after the the Christmas games and all these tight games where they're basically playing 3 games a week, which is insane. I think whoever's top at that point has I think the top two within the top three at that point after all these fixtures that are coming thick and fast. So about midway through January, whoever the top three there are going to be who are going to challenge for it because there are a lot of points to be won and lost in December. And if you lose all those games, or if you draw all those games, or if you win all those games, it can kind of make or break your season. So I think I'll reserve my comments to midway through January, but right now I can give you probably like 6 teams that I think have a chance. Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, and Man City.
Yeah,
Leicester
speaking of
probably
Spurs.
Leicester might Leicester might
Yeah,
be having a
speaking of
shift.
Spurs.
Let's get on to the last game where it's Spud to Arsenal 0. What are your thoughts on that game? How do you think that game panned out?
I mean, I thought it was gonna be a very intense one, like we always expect. North London derby. Arsenal has on the better side. He's out there on the better side. I think they won 70 something games, and Tottenham so far has won 50 something, and they have a 50 something draws or something. So statistically speaking, Arsenal was on the better side, but man, like I think everything was very evenly matched until that Son's goal. Like when Son received that goal from Harry Kane, like everyone knew it was gonna be something dangerous, but not no one expected that shot from Son. We know people Son's ability. We're aware of that, and we know he can do something like that. But I don't know, like that was such a we haven't really seen Son like shoot that mid-range shot this season, and just recently, and oh man, just in the right corner, that was a beauty. Like oh my god, I was screaming so loud, and Harry Kane with that defensive mistake from Arsenal very at the end of the first half can't give the chances to Spurs like that. And Harry Kane getting assists from Son and scores. What a banger! And Son and Kane has been carrying Spurs this season. And Kane is also a very good defender, dude. I think once his attacking ability goes away, I think he's gonna start his new career as a defender. And yeah, what a great win! What a great win! And I got a feel for Arsenal. They're on the losing streak, and they were actually coming up from the winning game. Very nice win from Europa, and yeah, I think Aubameyang's got to step it up, man. They got to step it up. I think Lacazette and Aubameyang, we expected them to be something, you know. There was that chemistry between those two, but these days, I don't know. Something's off. Something's off. But hey, happy for the win for my team, Spurs. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Idris? It's time for you to rant.
I'm not gonna give a rant. I feel I'll say this. Like you said, beginning it was a pretty close game, but I think Arteta's approach to this game was very naive in the sense, and he showed his inexperience. Everyone could literally, Stevie Wonder would see what Jose Mourinho was going to do. He would. Everyone knows what Jose. He literally played the same tactics last week. It just didn't work out against Chelsea, and they took a 0-0 draw. He's going to defend, have Harry Kane sit in the midfield, draw out your center backs, or disrupt your midfield. Then he has the 100-meter sprint between Bergwijn and Son, who are just going to run down the flanks like they're chasing fucking chicken. And with their quality, they're going to score. 2 counterattacks, 2 goals. That's literally what happened. Everybody could see what happened. I think Arteta didn't plan for that, which I think is naive of him. Because if I was the one, I'll say, hey, all right, once Kane gets the ball, kick the shit out of him. Don't let him make that pass to Son. Because they have such a good connection that Kane knows that. Once I get the ball, I don't even have to look. I just have to play it down the flank. And Sonny is fast. He's going to get it.
Yeah.
That's what happened for the first goal. Nobody gets tight to Kane. They allow Kane to have dinner and turn with the ball. And bam, Son is gone. So Kane passes it into Son. And Bellerin, what is he doing? He goes infield, and there's some credit that needs to go out to Reguilon for that first goal. He makes, I think, a 60-yard dash to draw Holding away, which allows Son to cut inside and shoot. Beautiful strike. World-class strike from Son. We know he possesses that quality. But that run from Reguilon kind of just shifts Holding because you always have to go with the runner, of course. And Son just cuts in. Bellerin is in no man's land. I don't know what he's doing because Holding literally tells him, there's a runner coming. You get ball, but Bellerin is like, whatever. And Son, peach of a strike. Same thing with the second goal. We're on the attack. No one's in midfield to stop whoever's in midfield getting the ball. They're letting them do turns. They're letting them do dances. They're letting them record a fucking TikTok in our midfield. They literally walk through. Son gets the ball. It's 4 against 2. Goes to Harry Kane. And I think it's probably harsh on Leno, but I don't think keepers should be getting beat on their near post. Great strike from Kane, by the way, but I don't think keepers should be getting beat on their near post. And again, but that's what Murillo wanted. Murillo was like, shit, if I can have 2% possession and I win on the counterattack, that's fine with him. And I feel like Arsenal didn't play relatively bad in the sense that they controlled possession, but that was Murillo's game plan. Defensively solid, hit them on the breaks, scored. We could all see it coming. And I have to give props to Højbjerg. He is an absolute tank engine. Oh my day. He is a tank.
He does all the dirty work for us. He does all the dirty work for us.
Yeah, he does all the dirty work. He's like, you're not getting past me. Like, I don't care who you are. I'm going to hack you down. Like, he is such a tank. And I feel like we lack that in our midfield. Like, it's unfortunate that Partey got injured because I feel like they rushed him for this game. I think he had a relatively decent half. Like, he did break up some attacks, but our midfield was just open. And I feel like we didn't close it down, and it was such a naive approach, and we knew what was going to happen. But again, the players need to step up. I think they're letting them down. Hector Bellerin was absolutely shocking today. Son had a field day. Every time Son had the ball, he was like, oh, Bellerin's not going to tackle me. Let me run at him. Aubameyang, nowhere to be found. Absent.
Willian, too. He had a bad game.
Willian, he was Saka, but I think the only people that really had a good game were Gabriel and Carantini. Carantini put in some really good crosses, but no one was attacking them. And you have to feel for him because it's frustrating when you're trying and your teammates are not doing shit. So But I think Gabriel and Carantania were the only ones that could say they had a good game. Everyone, I think Lacazette also. Lacazette kind of worked their socks off, even though Højbjerg was kind of giving him a tough time. That was a good feisty challenge between Højbjerg and Lacazette getting stuck in together. I think
Yeah.
Højbjerg won most of them, but again, everybody could see what was coming from Mourinho, and I just
Counterattacks,
feel
man.
yeah,
Counterattacks.
I just feel really bad that Arteta was so naive not to see that that's what he was doing because I could, like I said, Stevie Wonder would have seen that's what fucking Mourinho would have done.
I
Like, but
think
yeah, I'm.
yeah.
What do you say?
Go ahead.
What do you say?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said I'm over it now. We're 15th in the league. I'll still back my team, but we, got to back them through the hard times.
For sure, for sure. I think Bukayo Saka, man, he had a really bad game, and I think he just got to step it up more. Arteta's like really trusting in Saka, right? I mean, he's a young talent. He's got a lot of potential, and uh, Arsenal, like I could see Arsenal that Arteta has been putting a lot of young players in, right? For like trying and just see what's out there, right? For these young talent, which was very good. And the thing is that I think when he did that, I think the young players had to step it up more. Like I didn't see that desperation from these young players when he put in Nelson, Saka, and many other Arsenal youth graduates or whatever it is. And now, like they kind of went back to their main lineup, pretty much like their old lineup, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Saka and Thomas, which was good. But yeah, Bellerin, he also looked very clueless. Um, yeah, the throw in, like he had a throw in there. The last time we seen that was like 1980s. And I think Gabriel also had a bad game, at least from my perspective. Like I wish he was there more when defending, more aggressive, but didn't see that in him this time. Just that I don't know, man. But and Kane, let's talk about Tottenham. Aurier, man. I'm so happy we kept Aurier. He hustles. He knows. He's got to work on the crosses, and then he will be one of the best. But he also has really good passes, like through balls. He gives a lot of assists to Sonny and Kane. So, and Regulon, good hustle, and Hoyvier, yes, what a great addition to our team. Changes the team around pretty much. Tottenham. Without Hoyvier, there's no player that does that dirty work for us. So it's a big win for us to have Hoyvier, player like Hoyvier. And Bergwijn, I don't know, Bergie been a little shaky recently, so I would play Vinicius or Bale for Bergwijn next game. And yeah, I think Bergwijn needs some more time. Yeah, same as it's kind of like similar to like Martial situation. I think he started off well, but he needs some time and to refocus. And Lo Celso, uh, very good player. And I remember I slept on Lo Celso really hard in the beginning, saying that I disagree with Idris that he was not a top talent, but I was wrong. Boy, I was wrong. He is so good. But I would still put Endobele instead of Lo Celso. But yeah, Sony, world class. Harry Kane, world class as well, man. So happy for this win. And we're going to have another North London derby, right, in this season? One more, right?
Yeah, at the Emirates.
Yeah, one
Hopefully,
more.
we're.
And no, no, Idris. You've seen this game, how it turned out.
I
You
said
know.
hopefully we're not. Hopefully we're not shite by that time. We're not still shite, man.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully, but yeah, not gonna ban too much because Idris here is very going through tough times with his team. So, you know, I don't have to say it. All Arsenal fans are feeling it. So, yeah, just hoping the best for both of the teams. And yeah, so we got Liverpool and Wolverhampton Wanderers games left, and one more game. You said Aston Villa's has been postponed.
Yeah,
Who are they playing, by the way?
Newcastle.
Okay, Aston Villa versus Newcastle. I think that's gonna be a. I think Newcastle's gonna take it. I think Newcastle is gonna take it. Callum Wilson on form, so yeah. I
Yeah,
think Southampton too. I think Southampton. I think they were on the top of the table in like 50 years this season. So they're on the rise too. So very good season, man. Very good season. It's very unexpected and very back and forth. We've seen live. We're seeing a lot of things that we didn't expect to see this season. So I'm happy. So
yeah,
yeah, that's all we have for this week. And Idris, any closing remarks? You guys you want to talk about your intramural soccer,
yeah.
your
No,
final match?
I'm still in pain from that one, and I'm now in more pain. So maybe
Well,
maybe next episode.
maybe next episode. Okay.
But yeah, we know this one was a little lengthy, but there was a lot to get through. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving break, and thank you for still supporting us. But yeah, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. Please hit the subscribe and please leave in the comments below if do you think Tottenham Hotspur is going to win the title this season. And yeah, thank you for all the support and we'll be back. Peace.
Peace.
Enchanté.